Today's lesson is on percents and estimation. After today, you'll be able to find a percent of a quantity as a rate per 100. First, we're going to look at our key idea. In many real-life problems, you do not need an exact answer. To estimate a percent of a number, use common percents that are easy to work with. The table that you see below has common percent to fraction conversions. So 10% would be equal to 1/10. 20% equals 1/5. 30% equals 3/10. 40% equals 2/5. 50% equals 1/2. 60% equals 3/5. 70% equals 7/10. 80% equals 4/5. 90% equals 9/10. 100% equals 1. 25% equals 1/4. And 75% equals 3/4. For our first example, we're estimating the percent of a number. An inflatable pool contains 800 gallons of water. The pool loses 74% of its water through a leak. Estimate the amount of water lost. 74% is close to 75%, or 3/4. So, find 75% of 800. Remember, the word of means multiplication. So we're going to be multiplying 3/4 times 800. When we multiply 3/4 times 800, for the numerator we'd have 3 times 800, and that would be over the denominator of 4. We can then simplify the 4 and the 800 by dividing by 4. 4 divided by 4 is 1, and 800 divided by 4 is 200. When we multiply 3 times 200, we would get 600, and that would be over 1, which is equal to 600. So, about 600 gallons of water are lost. Now we're going to look at an additional example. You can pause the video and try it on your own, or you may follow along. Estimate the percent of the number. For number 1, we're trying to find 27% of 40. We are going to look at our table and see what's close to 27%. And in our table, you can see that 25% is close to 27%, and that's equal to 1/4. So we're going to be doing 1/4 times 40, because the word of is multiplication. 1/4 times 40 would be equal to 1 times 40 over 4. We can simplify the 40 and the 4 by dividing by 4. 4 divided by 4 is 1, and 40 divided by 4 is 10. Now we can multiply. 1 times 10 would be 10, and that would be over 1, and 10 over 1 is equal to 10. So 27% of 40 is about 10. For number 2, we're looking for 8% of 50. In our table, 10% is close to 8%, so we're going to use 10% to estimate. 10% is equal to 1/10. So we're going to be finding 1/10 of 50. The word of means multiplication, so we have 1/10 times 50. That would then equal 1 times 50 over 10. Now we can simplify by dividing 50 and 10 by 10. 10 divided by 10 is 1, and 50 divided by 10 is 5. Now when we multiply, 1 times 5 is 5, and that would be over 1, and 5 divided by 1 is equal to 5. So 8% of 50 is about 5. Now we have a second example where we're using compatible numbers. For A, we're going to estimate 46% of 177. 46% is close to 50%, or 1/2. For 177, use the compatible number 180. So now we're going to find 50% of 180. 50% is about 1/2, so we have 1/2 times 180, and that would equal 90. So 46% of 177 is about 90. For B, we're going to estimate 81% of 36. 81% is close to 80%, or 4/5. For 36, use the compatible number 35. So we're going to be finding 80% of 35. 80% was 4/5, so we're doing 4/5 times 35, and that would equal 28. So 81% of 36 is about 28. Now we have an additional example. You can pause the video and try it on your own, or you may follow along. Use compatible numbers to estimate the percent of the number. For number 1, we're finding 24% of 63. For 24%, we're going to use 25%, or 1/4. And then we're going to change 63 to 60 so that it's a compatible number. So we have 1/4 times 60. That would mean that we would be doing 1 times 60 over 4. We can simplify 4 and 60 by dividing by 4. 4 divided by 4 is 1, and 60 divided by 4 is 15. 1 times 15 would be 15, and that would be over 1, and 15 divided by 1 is 15. So 24% of 63 is about 15. For number 2, we're finding 17% of 49. 17% is close to 20%, and 20% is 1/5. 49% could then be changed to 50 because that would be a compatible number. So we're going to have 1/5 times 50. 1/5 times 50 would be 1 times 50 for the numerator over 5 for the denominator. Now we can simplify. We can divide 5 and 50 both by 5, and 5 divided by 5 is 1, and 50 divided by 5 is 10. Now when we multiply 1 times 10, that would be 10, and then that would be over 1, and 10 over 1 is equal to 10. So 17% of 49 is about 10. Don't forget to fill out your notes, and remember to watch the video again if needed.